Today's Dallas Cowboys Report is presented by Aura. They offer an all-in-one digital safety tool to help keep you and your family safe online in terms of your financial information and your personal info as well. Get a free 14-day trial. Cancel at any time over at aura.com/chatsports. To begin today's show, a new report on Anthony Barr. This one coming, by the way, out of Minnesota. The Cowboys are still interested in adding Barr, per Darren Wolfson, one of the Minnesota-based reporters. Previous reports from Dallas, by the way, have linked Barr to the Cowboys, if the contract is cheap enough, which we'll come back to later on in today's show. Now, Cowboys camp starts next week. The first practice is exactly a week from now. But Barr is not yet signed, and there's some timing involved there. Typically, players like to be signed by camp from a just comfort perspective, but the Cowboys also signed Malik Hooker in the middle of camp last year. Here's what Darren Wolfson, the Minnesota-based reporter, said. I said a few weeks ago, keep an eye on the Dallas Cowboys. I know the Cowboys certainly are interested in Anthony Barr. Washington has also kicked the tires, but I think right now, keep an eye on the Dallas Cowboys. When the Cowboys make moves like signing Malik Jefferson, Christian Sam, or hypothetically adding Anthony Barr, when that happens, we break it down. So make sure those notifications are set to all, not personalized. When you first subscribed, YouTube defaults you. That's click the bell icon one more time. Change it from personalized to all and get notifications for every single video we do here on the Dallas Cowboys Report. That way, when news happens, you're not missing that push notification. Now, in terms of where things sit with the linebacker depth chart, Parsons is great. LVE's a proven starter. I have high hopes for Jabril Cox, but the rest of the linebacking room in Dallas is totally unproven. Luke Gifford's been a core special teamer. Devin Harper's a late day 3 pick. Aaron Hansford, Story Jackson are UDFAs. Malik Jefferson, Christian Sam have bounced around, and I doubt Damone Clark's healthy for the season, let alone week 1. So the depth at linebacker is a giant question mark. At minimum, Barr would solidify that depth. Now, he has battled injuries in recent years. More on that in a little bit, has consistently missed some time. But he can blitz a little bit, can cover a little bit, and can stop the run. He's a good player, and he knows defensive assistant George Edwards very well from their time in Minnesota. And the last time the Cowboys signed a former Viking in Jaron Kearse, that actually worked out pretty well. Now, Barr's coverage numbers did jump from a pass breakups interception perspective, but that is not consistent with the rest of his career and probably indicative of a bit in the flash in the pan. As Barr continues to age, the plays decline. He's not prime Anthony Barr anymore, but he's probably better at playing linebacker on defense than I think Luke Gifford is. So I want your predictions. More on Barr coming up in a second, some reasons why they might not do it. But I want your predictions. Will the Cowboys sign Anthony Barr? Y for yes and for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head to the pinned comment, type Y or N. Now, part of the report from Darren Wolfson was that there are concerns about the knee, and Barr missed time last year with the knee. He's battled a lot of injuries. You saw all the games he missed on that previous graphic. There are apparently concerns about the knee. That would have to be vetted, verified through a physical/workout process. I don't think the Cowboys would sign him blind. That's not how teams do business. There was also this report we mentioned previously from Brian Broaddus that Anthony Barr wanted $11 million per year. No, he's not getting that. You can cut that number in half, and I'm kind of like, it might be a little bit high for Anthony Barr. It is, really at this point, late July. He is unsigned. I don't think you're going to find a player who only going to find anyone almost worth that amount of money at this point. That's too much money for Anthony Barr. If that number comes down to maybe $5 million, we can have a different conversation, or even less than $5 million. But if he still wants $11 million, that's okay, AB, let us know when you change your mind. Now, today's show is made possible by our friends over at Aura. They offer financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security for you and up to 5 members of your family. If you're like most people, you do more online than ever, and Aura does even more to keep you guys safe. So get a free 14-day trial of their all-in-one online safety tool that you can cancel at any time, by the way, when you head over to aura.com/chatsports. I'll put that link in the comment section and in the description of today's show. It's aura.com/chatsports. The Jessie Bates trade ideas rumors are back once again, so we'll spend some time on it. CBS Sports, part of their recent article, listed the Cowboys as the number 2 destination for a Jessie Bates trade. It's going to happen, right? Bates has not signed his franchise tag tender. He is upset over the, to be honest, low ball offer from a guaranteed money perspective made by the Bengals. Unbelievably low bar. Cowboys and Bengals aren't run that differently in the end. And a holdout is very possible since he is not signed. He is not subject to fines. Now, Bates is among the best safeties in the NFL. But him checking in at number 2 is a bit unlikely. Here were the top 8 destinations for Bates on that CBS Sports list. The Eagles at number 1, which I totally agree with, by the way. The Cowboys at number 2. The Raiders 3, Patriots 4, which I don't think they make much sense. Raiders do make sense. Colts at 5, sure. Niners, Commanders, Jets. Dallas at 2, I don't think is very realistic, but here's what CBS Sports argued. Dallas already has 2 of the NFL's top defensive playmakers in Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. Imagine if they use some of the $22.5 million in remaining 2022 cap space to make Bates part of the equation. Jaron Kearse was a force in his 2021 breakout, but he's logged just 1 full year as a starter in the NFL. Blake Hooker is just fine too, but he's yet to play a full year and isn't breaking the bank after re-signing. Jerry Jones loves a good splash, and this one would help reinforce the defense's title aspirations both in the short term and in the long term. We're going to go more in depth on this, plus part of the quote that it's just not right. But what is the percent chance the Cowboys actually trade for Jessie Bates? I want you guys to sound off for me in the comments section. Now, I think your answer should be quite low. This is the Cowboys we're talking about, and we've learned that they don't make moves the same way they used to, which is what's important here. I am begging national media to please stop with the, Jerry Jones loves a good splash. When was the last time they did that? Amari Cooper trade, I guess, when they were desperate at wide receiver. You can almost count every year there's going to be a report of, Jerry could try to trade up in the draft. The Jerry splash move isn't how they operate anymore. Stephen Jones has taken on more and more power and sway and control of the organization. He's not the same wheeler and dealer that his daddy was. It's not how Stephen Jones runs things. It's just not a likely outcome. So if you're pitching the Jerry Jones splash, you've lost me because it means you're not really in tune with how the Cowboys are run anymore. Now, from a need perspective, I've talked about this before. I feel better about the Cowboys' safety depth than I have in a very long time. And if you had told me this time last year, I'd be all for trading for Jessie Bates. But I've got Jaron Kearse. I am hyped about Malik Hooker. I've got Donovan Wilson, who's a really great safety 3, if not a low-end safety 2 or more. You've got some promising young guys, Tyler Coyle, Israel Mukuamu, Marquise Bell. Now, yes, Jessie Bates is better than all of those guys. No disrespect meant to Jaron Kearse, but if you're making a list of top 10 safeties, it's a lot easier to put Bates on there than it is Jaron Kearse. And that's also part of the problem for Dallas, the money. Bates might not become the highest paid safety in the NFL, but you can bank he's going to get at least $16 million per year. I would be shocked if he came in less than that. And that would not be done until next year, because much like Dalton Schultz, Bates on the franchise tag, the deadline has ended. You cannot extend Jessie Bates right now. He has to play on a $12.91 million franchise tag, which would be the 5th highest cap hit among all safeties in 2022. That is not conducive with the way Stephen Jones likes to run business these days for Dallas. So factoring in the money and the fact you probably move a second-round pick for him, if not more, I want you to be honest with me. Do you guys even want to trade for Jessie Bates? Crazy how much things have changed in a calendar year from where we were this time last year. I'd have been all for it. Now, that's probably fine. But let me know. Do you want to trade for Bates? A for yes or B for no? Time for some news you probably won't get anywhere else. Micah Parsons spotted allegedly, but I trust my source on it, playing flag football up in Frisco. By the way, he was not injured. I feel that's very important to mention, although it might worry some people if, he's playing flag football, it's Micah. He's one of the guys you kind of want to make sure is put in bubble wrap before the year begins because he's too important and too good to risk getting injured. It's also, for me, probably better than some Cowboys players like to play pickup basketball. I feel like you're more likely to tear an ACL doing that than playing flag football. So we'll keep it open for debate for you, the people. Do you care at all if Micah Parsons is out in Frisco playing flag football, bundled up to try to hide his identity, but getting spotted anyway? C for you care, D for you don't care. Let me know in the comments. I don't care that much. I get concerned of, oh, God, please don't get hurt. It's one of those things, right? Other guys play pickup basketball. I'd actually probably be more worried about that side of thing. Here's the only caveat. Can't get hurt. It is a very, very bad look if, God forbid, whether it's Micah or any of your key players, I was playing flag football with some buddies and family, and then I ended up tweaking my ankle, and now I'm out for the first 3 weeks of the year. That's a nightmare scenario. So as long as you don't get hurt, no one cares. And on the bright side, he's staying in shape, I guess, at least, right? Don't want to be too snitchy here after all. But you need Micah Parsons. This Cowboys team desperately needs him out there. He's too impactful. He was too dynamic in 2021, despite only being an 88 in Madden, clowns, 84 tackles, 13 sacks, 20 TFLs, even held up better in coverage than I thought he might in year one. He's awesome. He's special. He's one of those guys and I'll make this note too for training camp in the preseason. I know Micah wants to be out there. I know how competitive he is. For the preseason, don't even play him. He's one of those guys who I put in the quote-unquote bubble wrap category. Put him on ice in bubble wrap for the beginning of the year, or in terms of like training camp in the preseason. He can show up in week one, and I think he's going to be just fine in terms of being able to play. That does it for today's Dallas Cowboys Report. If you made it to the end of today's video, you guys are a real one. I'll show you some love if you type DC4L to show me you made it to the end of today's show.